Hello, Michelle here again. Guess what? Day 2, but I'm sure you already know that. How are you going? So day 2 of the Christmas version of the Content Mojo Challenge. I'm so excited. I really do love December. Mind you, not only do we have Christmas, but it leads on to my birthday in January. So that's kind of cool too. It's sort of a fun time of year for me, as I said yesterday. Now, how are you going? I've seen a couple of responses. I think it was Darlene. I'm just having a look at my computer. And was it maybe Gavin? No, Tim. No, Luke. So that's cool. I'm glad that you put something in there. That's awesome because it actually means you're taking some kind of accountability. Even if it's 0, like mine, you put something in there. And usually we kind of, and all of us have actually, we want to justify our 0. So we add a little something else. So it does mean we're actually thinking about it. Like, why is it 0? How can I make it not 0? Blah, 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 blah. I.e., at this, the first couple of days, I would expect most people to have 0 because you're actually not writing as a rule. Some people will because you will have given it a little bit of thought ahead of time, or maybe you have a massive collection of questions that people have asked you in the past and you just literally choosing one out of that basket, and so you can just get on and write. But many of us are, just trying to decide what will we write about this time, and so that takes a little while to come up with a good topic that can take a day or so. But you do need to be careful. Hello, Frankie. Oh, Frankie's done 533 words. And here comes our expert writer, which is really, really cool. So well done. So it does bring me on to what I will talk about very briefly today, and that is coming up with a topic. So I can see that Darlene was saying that she's having difficulty trying to think of what to do. One of the reasons is because she doesn't want to do another one of those how to, 10 steps to, build a house or something. She wants to come up with a different thing to write about, which is fine. The only thing I would say is you should be trying to think of something that answers a question, because mostly when people go on the web and use Google, they're actually asking a question. They're not sure where something is, how to do something. Oops, that's right, we're not doing how to. They're asking a question anyway. So go and start thinking about it from that perspective. One of the ways you can do it, and there's the videos in the resource centre, there is 3, I think, and they're all on how to come up with an idea. I moved away from it. Where are we? So in the resource centre at mission-mojo.com, you go to the challenge menu, and then there's a drop down which says challenge resources or something like that. It's a private area with a password, but guess what? Because you're in the challenge, the password is it's Mojo, M-O-J-O. That's it. Log in, put the password in, and you'll see the videos. Now there is 3 videos on trying to come up with a topic to blog about. So go and have a look. One of the places is Google. We talked very briefly yesterday about the keywords, and which is what I did yesterday, a little bit of keyword research to come up with my topic, which I do remember to tell you before the end of the video. So go there. The other thing with Google, is that if you can look at predictive text, so when you're typing into a Google search, it actually will tell you a whole bunch of other suggestions of what you might be typing. So that's Google trying to be helpful. But Google can only be helpful like that because Google knows what other people have typed in the past. So that predictive text is also, for you as somebody trying to work out what to come up with for a blog post, is actually another really good place that you can, be searching for what people are interested in. It's a bit like the keyword research tool. It's just that you don't have, a number attached to possibly how many people are searching for that. But if it comes in up in that predictive text, we sort of assume that it's a reasonably well searched term. So start writing, your area. So mine is, making money online kind of thing for women. So how women can go and create a business online. So I started writing a few things like that, and all kinds of stuff come up. So that some of them I hadn't thought of, or just words added in there that I wouldn't necessarily have put in. And then you do that and you find out that there's lots of people using those terms. So if you use them in your blog post, then that's going to work out a treat. What else was I going to say? Oh, yes. So the other thing to think about is going to websites where questions are being asked. So Quora is one of the ones we talk about in the resource centre. Then there's things like Amazon comments. So if you go to Amazon and you type in whatever the area is, your industry, look at all the books that are there. So going to the ones that have had a lot of comments and then going and having a look at the comments, especially some of the negative comments or the sort of middle of the road comments where people haven't just gone, oh, this is awesome, best book I've ever read, stop. You want to go find the ones where they've got more questions than just saying, oh, this is great, because that gives you some ideas on things that people want to know. Not to mention just going to Amazon in the first place and typing in your area, you'll see a whole bunch of books. And what are books for? Often, especially non-fiction books, are all about people answering what they think is a perceived lack in the community that we need, answers for. So they're actually they're answers. Books are mostly answers, non-fiction books, on how to do something, how to find something, how to feel about it. They're just like loads and loads of ideas for you, actually. So go and have a look, see which ones are particularly high up in your area, and because that would be a good indicator, especially if they've sold a lot, they've got a lot of reviews of a topic that you could choose, or some kind of topic. And then, of course, there's actually the community online. So the community that you hang out in that is related to your niche, your area. Go and see what are they talking about. So the groups on Facebook, like this, the LinkedIn has a lot of groups, and then just in general forums. So you can actually type in your niche and forums and go over and have a look what people are writing in forum, because often when people do start communicating in these in different little areas, in little groups around a particular topic, they're there to talk about their passion for that topic, but when they have issues as well, and they're all trying to help each other out, that kind of thing. So you'll find that's another way. Now, I hope that's given you some ideas, Darlene, of ways that you can get out of your mindset of not working out what it is you want to do. And I'm sure we're all like that. Another solution, but it's a bit more of a long-term solution, is to have a little note. And I talk about technology. I was looking for my phone, but I'm talking to you on my phone. I talk about technology all the time, and I have my phone, like most of us have it in our pocket all the time. And like most of us, it's a smartphone, so it has a note capacity. So unless you're an avid writer and you've got into the habit of carrying a small pad of paper and a pen around with you in your bag, and some people do. In fact, I have been known to do that, but not for a while. I always write notes in my phone. So I've got a little bit of in my notes on my phone. I've got an actual file which is ideas, and so when I'm in the doctor's surgery, or watching the kids play sport, or wandering around the supermarket, grocery shopping, which I seem to spend a terrible amount of time doing. However, I diverge again. And I think of an idea, or maybe I am sparked by something I see in my environment, then I can open up my phone and write that idea down. And so all of a sudden, I have a whole bunch of ideas for writing a blog post. So you could create a note in your phone that is all about blogs. You could even just call it blog ideas, something like that. And then you just have to pluck one out. So every month when we do this, you could be like Frankie and have already created 530 odd words and, jumping ahead or whatever. So that would be one of my big suggestions going forward if you're going to continue to grow a business online, to actually find some way to record ideas, so that you don't get this lack of ideas. Often we are so far in our business and we're so consumed by it that we don't really see what's going on. So on those moments when we step away, like we're away from the computer and we're doing all those things I said, you actually come up with some better ideas. Unfortunately, most of my good ideas come in the shower or when I'm running, and they're not very conducive to writing things down on a notepad. So I just have to try and remember them before I get out of the shower or finish going for my run. So think about that. Think about starting to collect those thoughts, because it really will help in these times. Now, and of course you could just ask if you've already got a community that you have developed, that you are in, or that you're just a member of, that are in the same area that you're trying to write about. then just ask. You know, when I started creating digital products 1,000,000 years ago, it feels like, the way I did that was to, how did I work out what to put in? Can you see me? I don't know what's happening in my office. The connection keeps dropping out. So I just moved the phone around. Now, this is what I've been using to hold the phone up. I mean, it's on a selfie stick, but I've been using that. If you could leave a message in the comments so that I know that you can hear me and that that's coming across okay, that would be awesome. You can see there's a couple of people here. So I've just moved my whole thing around so that, I'm not sure, the light's not so good there, but at least the connection seems to be a little bit stronger. This is all trying to get used to being in a new place again and have things that work for us all the time. You'd think because we work online that our internet would be great, but sometimes it's not. So if you could give me a thumbs up or something, that would be great so that I know you can hear me. I'm not talking to myself. Oh, it is going in and out a little bit. What might I do? I don't know. It's working very well on my computer. It does still say connection. Wait, I might just go and stand out here for a minute. You can have a little tour. Where it's a place where it doesn't say connection weak. Let me see. If I go this way, you can, there you go, very Christmassy. You can see our Christmas calendars. So these have chocolates on them. So you have to excuse, there's still boxes and messes everywhere, but I'm just trying to get a better connection. Ah, the video's buffering. Okay. I'm just wandering through my house now, looking for a better connection. So you're getting a sort of backwards tour of our house. So here, at the moment there's a mattress up there, but that's a table tennis table that the kids have been mucking around with. Let me see, pop back out here for a minute. Hoping that I'm getting closer to wherever Simon's got a whole bunch of routers all over the house, you see, because that's what you do. It's still quite weak. Oh well, we'll get this one finished and I will work on getting a better solution tomorrow. Might mean that I just have to use my mobile data. How's that? I'm trying to get better light now. I can still see the boxes in my office. Okay. So it's not working very well. So that's a shame. Hopefully the recording will come out better than the actual live call. But anyway. So as I was saying, do what you can to go and have a look in the community. Go and ask. So you can. Oh, and the buffering's got. Well, I'm not sure where the good spot was though, because I kept walking around. Anyway, I'll just stand here in the doorway of my office because, well, why not? So when I started the quilting business, which is what I was talking about, I didn't know what, I knew what I was going to write about it, but I didn't know the specifics. I didn't know exactly what people wanted to hear. So I actually I went and asked. I said, what are the top, what's the top question that you have about starting a quilting business? And that was how I got 40 odd questions. And with those 40 questions, we just made sure that those questions were answered when we created the book. And that was it. So, and that is a very similar thing that we're doing now. So in order to work out exactly what people want, well, one of the best ways is to, ask them. So go and ask. Go and ask in those forums, ask in the groups that you belong to, ask your own people. If you've got an email list, ask. You'll be surprised. People, especially when they're passionate about a topic, they're really keen to tell you. So, which is cool. Okay. So you need to do that. I had something else I wanted to say. And now that I've moved from my computer, I can't remember what it was. Does anyone else, while I'm thinking about it, does anyone who's on the call who can hear me actually have a question at the moment? Now that you've had a tour of my house, or a little bit of the house, because I can always answer it now. Feel free to put questions, obviously, into the Facebook group. because I would love to answer them. Now, I know we're probably still buffering too, so I probably have to wait a couple of seconds to see if anyone has any questions. Frankie, or there's a couple of other people coming and going. All right, now, I won't wait any longer because I've just remembered what it was I wanted to say. So I see that some people have been sharing the challenge, which is fantastic. Thank you, Frankie, and thank you everyone else who has too. I think Lou was asked if she could share the video, and yes, you can. Now, the other thing I was thinking, and I've now changed the wording that's on the actual page for the challenge. I've changed it that people can actually join any time that they like, rather than saying, the challenge starts, because I've been so busy for the 2 weeks leading up to it. I haven't done a lot of marketing of it myself or sharing it. So I often only do it in the day or so before, which of course isn't a lot of time to get people to come and join us. So what I was thinking is, well, people can really join at any time, because there's all the training in the resource centre, and they can go and look at that. They can look at these videos and do that kind of thing. And ultimately, although we prefer that you write 1,500 words or more, and we talk about why, if you're not able to write 1,500 words as a result of the challenge because you started late or whatever, well, that's okay. You didn't write 1,500 words, but you hopefully wrote something that in the second week we can create all of the marketing assets, using the images and that kind of stuff. So do keep sharing it, because I've now changed the wording so they can, join any time in the 2 weeks. They could also potentially use a blog post that they existingly have. That exists, I should say, just make up words, that exist on their website. So, all of those things are an option. Anybody can join whenever they like, right up to, I suppose, near the last day. But, they may not win the challenge if they haven't created all of that marketing collateral that we talk about a lot in the second week, and that you spend a lot of time creating all of that stuff. So feel free to keep sharing. The more people we can get in, the better, because it just makes it a more fun community for us to work with and for us to bounce ideas around, and it helps more people. So that's really cool. All right, so I don't have any more questions, and it still says I have a weak connection, so hopefully you've heard what I've said. And I'll try and find a better way to make a good connection in my office for tomorrow. All right, go keep working out what you're going to write about. Oh, what am I going to write about? I'm going to write about how to come up with an idea for your business online. So literally, sort of what we've been talking about today, but rather than how to, what you're going to write about, it'll be what to start your business about, because my target market are mums who want to start a business online. So that's how to work out what to do online. These people have already worked out they'd like to work online, but they don't know what to do. So mine's around that. I'm still working on the title though, so that might take a while to come up with a good title. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Leave questions in the Facebook group, and also go put how many words you've written, or if you haven't written any, go and say that too. All right. Take care and love you all. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.